we're in the green room with Mark Batterson, pastor of National Community Church in Washington, D.C. Mark, I think one of the most amazing parts of your story is really that you even have a story at all, because your first church plant was kind of a fail, but you and Laura had the courage to move to D.C. and try again. D.C.?
Yeah.
A really hard place.
Right.
Talk about that fail and then the courage to...
Yeah. Well, when it's amazing how much you know when you're 22. That's all I'm going to say. I was 22, we're in seminary, we're newlyweds, and we tried to plant this church in Chicago. The funny thing is that I had a 25-year plan, and I actually got an A on it for one of my seminary classes, and in reality it failed. The core group imploded. We just never got off the ground, and it was an incredibly humbling experience. My mind was spinning. I'm like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? And so at the time, it's probably the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I look back on it and I say, thank you, Jesus, for that failure, because if that church plant hadn't died in Chicago, then it couldn't have been resurrected in Washington, D.C. Wow. And I just know that that's where the Lord wanted us. And I also think it taught me the important lesson that unless the Lord builds the house, they who labor in vain. That if God doesn't do it, it is not going to happen. And I think that's probably even led into one of our core values: work like it depends on you, and pray like it depends on God.
Right.
And I think if you do those two things, then God's favor is going to be on it. He's going to bless it. And that's what's happened in D.C.
I think most people, they feel like when they obey the Lord, that they're immediately going to start to see God's favor and blessings upon what they're doing. Is that what happened to you guys when you moved to D.C.?
Well, yeah. I mean, we want God to do it yesterday.
Right.
But the problem is there's this thing called the Bible with stories in it about people like Joseph that you can read it in 17 minutes, but it was 17 years. The first 5 years of our church plant in D.C. there were moments, is this going to make it? It was 5 years of plowing and planting before we really experienced kind of this first critical moment where God just sent this harvest to us. And so I just think you tend to overestimate what you can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what you can accomplish in 10 years.
What would you say to someone who says, I think I heard from God, but I don't really see anything happening, but did I not hear from God? How do you know?
It's learning to know the voice of someone that you know intimately. And so there's no shortcut. There's no, if you aren't in a intimate relationship with God where you're getting to know him better and better and better, you aren't going to recognize that still small voice.
Well, this has been In the Green Room with Mark Batterson. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Oh, it's been great. Thanks so much.